Okay, so today I'm actually going to be trading out my conch for a little bit smaller one, and if you haven't heard me for about the 1,000th time now, he just become, you know, way too much for my saltwater tank, and I still want to have one in here, but I need one just a little bit smaller because he's been a really big help to this tank and keeping the sand real nice and white and clean, but he's just producing way too much waste for the tank, so yeah, I've been wanting to get him on here for the past few weeks now, and today I'm going to finally do that. So here he is right here, and as you can see, he's a fairly large size conch, and he does a really nice job of keeping the sand really white and clean, as you can see, but he's just producing a lot of waste, like I've been saying, and there's some spots of the tank that he can't get to. For example, this back corner back here, he just can't get back here, and a little bit smaller conch would be able to get back there and clean that area of the tank. So I'm going to go ahead and get that guy out of the tank in 3, 2, perfect. So I'm just going to go ahead and make this even more easier. And right there is our new conch. So as you can see, he is much smaller than the last guy that we had. So we're going to let this guy acclimate for a few minutes and then put him right on into the tank. But this is about the size that I wanted. Look at him, you can see him. He's coming out right there. He's trying to flip himself actually, but this is about the size that I wanted for this tank, and really the size this tank needed. That guy was just way too big for this tank. Now this is mainly a saltwater store, but check this out. They have a few freshwater tanks, and they had this amazing looking dragon blood, and I just thought I had to get him for the African cichlid tank along with the other dragon blood. So I'm gonna set this guy in here and let's just see what their reaction is, and especially the dragon blood. Let's see what his reaction is to him. Look at him, they're all checking him out. Pike's up there. It's gonna be really interesting. I've been wanting to get another dragon blood in here, and it's gonna be really interesting to see how they all react to him when I put him in the tank. Alright, so it's about time now to go and take the conch out of the bag and put him into the tank. And just like that, there he is. So just like I did with the big guy, I'm going to put him on his backside like that. And I'm going to sit here for a few minutes, and you guys are going to get to see him flip himself over. It is one of the coolest things to watch these guys flip themselves over. It is so cool. So I'm going to sit here for a few minutes, let him come out, and you guys are going to get to see it. He's about to come out. He's got his eyes peeping out right there. This guy's about to come right on out of his shell. Okay, so while we wait on that guy to come out of his shell, we're going to go and put the cichlid into the tank. Alright, so here he is in 3, 2, 1. There he is. Look at that guy. He looks absolutely amazing in here. He looked really good in the tank that he was in at the store. Really stood out very well because he was in the tank with all females. But that guy looks amazing. Look at that. Look at the blue on his backside. That is just amazing. He is much brighter red than the dragon blood that's been in here. That guy right there. But they seem to be getting along really good. You know, I let them sit in here for quite a while. I actually let them sit in the bag and, you know, let them kind of get introduced to each other. And he's just kind of chilling right there. You know, he's going to kind of explore the tank, checking out everything. Oh, here's a Snow White kind of checking him out. Okay. Nothing too bad. That's typical cichlid aggression right there. But nothing too bad. The pike kind of checking him out. And they seem to be doing pretty good. He is the biggest cichlid in here. There's no doubt about that. He does have size on all these other guys. Snow White's kind of being a little bit territorial towards him, but he's definitely not backing down. Look at him. He is standing his ground against that Snow White. He is not backing down, not one bit, which is good because you don't want a fish to really start getting picked on when you put them into a new tank. And these guys should be used to each other within a few days or so. So we missed the conch flipping himself over when we were putting the cichlid in, but you can see him. He is now flipped over. Actually, those little beady looking things right there are actually his eyes. But yeah, hopefully this guy does just as good of a job as the other guy did. You know, of course, it's going to take him a little bit longer to clean the tank, but he's starting off with a pretty clean slate and not much work to do right now, but he'll definitely have a lot of work to do within a few days because this tank grows quite a bit of algae on the bottom of the tank. Alright, so it's now been 2 days actually, and the cichlid's doing really good in the tank. I'm going to give you guys a good look at him here in a second. Also, the conch has kind of like buried himself for probably a few days before he'll come up out of the sand, but he's not really much needed right now because the tank isn't growing much algae on the bottom of the tank. But Today at the store, I saw a fish that I've not seen in a while, and that fish was glass catfish. And obviously I got two of these little guys. So there's one right there, and then there's one right down there. Now they're pretty hard to see, hence their name glass catfish or translucent catfish or ghost catfish, because you can see right through the freaking body. Isn't that crazy? Look at that. You can see directly through that guy. It's pretty crazy to watch these guys eat. So I'm gonna let those guys finish acclimating, and we're gonna get them in the tank here in a few minutes. But I also got another coral for the saltwater tank, and that coral is the candy coral or candy cane coral. And this one has about 7 or 8 heads on it. And look at that. This thing is gonna look amazing in here. Just think, when this thing fully opens up, you know, like the hammer coral is, by the way, it's doing really good. When this thing fully opens up, this thing is going to be an absolute beauty in this tank. Alright, so I'm gonna go and take the coral out and go ahead and find a spot for it in the tank. Now, it's not gonna be quite as easy as it was finding a spot for that hammer coral, because that spot that I've got it in just like stood out as a really good spot. So we're gonna have to find a little nook or groove in this rock right here. I think I want to put it on this side, because I'm gonna put 1 or 2 little things over here. So we're going to put it somewhere up there on the top, probably right in that little area, right about there. So yeah, let's go and get it in there. Alright, so let's see if I can get it to fit right in that little spot right there, because if I can, that'll be really nice, because that way we can have it sticking up just like that. I think that is going to work out. Look at that. That looks pretty dang good to me. Alright, so right about there, the main thing you have to watch out for is just making sure none of the heads are touching the rocks, because once they actually come out during the day and really start puffing out, you just don't want them nudged against any of the rocks, and as you can see, none of them are. So this thing should come out really good tomorrow, and I will give you guys a really good look at that tomorrow. And now let's go and put the 2 glass catfish into their tank, which by the way has 2 electric blue jack dempseys, that one being the bigger one right there, and there's a little bit smaller one, and then just an assortment of tetras, and that's pretty much it. So these guys should fit in very well in here. The main thing is just making sure they're healthy, and all these are kind of a hit and miss type fish, but these guys look pretty good, so hopefully they end up doing really good in here. Alright, so here goes the first one. And there he is, looking good. But I'm gonna go and shut the lights off for now, and I will give you guys an update on them in the morning. Well, it's now the next morning. You can see the coral is pretty well opened up this morning, looking very good. Actually, when I came out here earlier this morning to turn on the lights, I actually saw it laying down in the sand. So sometime last night, the flow probably knocked it off. I didn't really have it secured good enough, but I did get it back up there, as you can see, and it is looking really good now. The hammer coral is opening up very nicely this morning as well. But yeah, you can see all the heads really puffed out and opened up very well this morning. Check that out, and you can kind of see the greenish in it as well. It's harder to see on camera, but it actually has quite a bit of a green tint to it, but for some reason the camera's not really picking it up. You can kind of see it right there in the center of the heads. But that is one really nice looking coral, and believe me, I'm going to be adding more coral to the tank. I want to add 1 or 2 other things over here, and that'll probably be it for a little while. Of course, the hawkfish, he is doing very good. Let's see if we can find, oh yep, there he is right there. He is looking great in here, eating like a freaking maniac. Look at that guy, just so curious of every little thing. He'll come up to the rock, just perch on it, and just watch me. It's so cool because these guys can move their eyes without having to move their body or turn their head. See that right there? See how he's just kind of moving his eye around back and forth? Look at that. That is so cool. And there's the little conch that I got a few days ago. You can see him right there. He's buried himself, and he's probably going to sit there for a few more days, actually. He doesn't even have to come out. There's not really much for him to eat right now anyways. But you can already see a light shade of that algae coming back right there, and then over there, and there's some other spots as well. Of course, right back there in the corner. It's been there for a little while. And another thing about this tank is I've just been adding and doing a lot of things to it in the past week, so I'm going to let it kind of chill out for a few weeks before we do anything else to it. And look at there, there's one of the glass catfish out here this morning, looking really good. It actually shows up very nicely as well. But yeah, hopefully these guys won't end up getting picked on here. They're pretty fragile fish, but if I do see them start getting picked on, because there is quite a few fish in here, I will take them out and move them into a tank where they're not going to get picked on. But they seem to be doing really good in here. I'm not sure where the other one's at, but probably not the next video, but the next video I'll go and try to feed these guys on camera and let you guys watch the meat, because it's a pretty cool sight to see. But for now, those guys are looking great in here. And by the way, there is the new dragon blood I also got a few days ago, along with the little smaller conch. He is looking and doing really good in here, getting along great. And this guy really does stand out very nicely in here. He's really the brightest, most colorful fish in here. The last time you guys saw him, he was going at it with that Snow White, but they are getting along great. right now. But that is going to be pretty much it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please be sure to drop a like on the video, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. We got some new glass catfish. Hold on now. We actually got a lot of things in this video. We got that dragon blood, we got a new conch, we got a new coral, and of course the glass catfish. And I've noticed quite a few of you do like the corals in the saltwater tank, so I will be getting more for it. But, you know, like I said, just for now, I'm going to kind of let it chill out and do its thing for a little while. If there's any kind of videos or any kind of fish you want me to get for any of my tanks or any of my ponds outside, I know we didn't look into the ponds this video, but I show them just about every video anyway, so. But if there's anything that you guys want me to get for those, definitely let me know. So drop some comments down below, let me know what you want to see. And with that being said, you guys, I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.